Hi, welcome to FiscalSolutions channel. Today in our studio is Boris Milovac from Legal Department, and fiscal law in Romania is in our focus. Welcome Boris, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. It's always good to be back in this studio with you.
As I already said, we are talking about fiscalization in Romania.
Exactly.
So what can you tell us about process of certification in this country?
Before we start talking about the process itself, I would like to say that the certification process in Romania is very complicated and very demanding. And in order to pass this certification process successfully, you really need to have all the right information and all the right knowledge because this is one of the most complex certification processes that we interacted so far. But let's not get ahead of ourselves and let's start from the beginning. The certification process defines a couple of topics, such as, for example, which fiscal solution can be distributed in the country, the installation of solution, maintenance of solution in the stores, etc. etc. The process itself is done by the ICI, which stands for the National Institute for Research and Development in Informatics. In order to apply for certificate, the application process is done through a local company. So here we can see the first obstacles for someone who is not present at the Romanian market or do not have the local partners, because you cannot even go through this process because you're not even able to apply for a certificate if you do not have the local partner. But let's talk about the certification process itself. Basically, this process includes two major steps. First step is getting the technical approval from the ICI, and the second step is getting approval from Ministry of Finances for distribution of your solution in Romania. What is also important to notice is that the whole solution goes through the certification process. When I say whole solution, I mean that the POS application has to be integrated with the fiscal printer and with the customer display, and then as a whole package you send it for the testing. I would like to just briefly, of course, get you familiar and our viewers with steps for the certification, so you can maybe have some wider picture and ideas about how this process is actually really complicated. So we already mentioned the integration and the certification of the whole solution. Then you have to prepare a demo system, also to provide the POS application on CD, the user manual, which has to be in Romanian language, and the technical documentation and following documentation for the printer itself, which is provided by the manufacturer. After you gather all these necessary documents, the testing can start. The testing, as already mentioned, is done also by the ICI, and the testing process itself is very detailed and extensive, and it usually takes a couple of weeks. There's also a catch, because every time the testing is different, so there's no checklist. For example, they change it all the time, and they can ask you pardon me, for different requirements. During the testing, they will of course test your POS application, the functionalities of your POS application, some AJ related topics, then the possibility to communicate with the NAF, some maybe errors that may occur in the real life every day in the store, and the process is how your solution is going to handle those errors, etc. etc. So basically, even for this couple of minutes that we are talking about this certification process in Romania, I'm sure that you can imagine how this process is complex, and we didn't even mention the time frame. So if you need this certificate in Romania, we usually advise to apply for it at least 3 or 4 months in advance.
and how FiscalSolutions can help in making this complex process easier for companies in Romanian market?
Thank you for this question. It's actually a very good one. I would like to point out that we as a fiscal solution have participated in the certification process. We have a lot of experience and all the right knowledge and expertise to make this process as simple as possible for all of our potential clients. And in addition, we have competent local partners, so we are always one step ahead, and we are always aware of the possible changing in maybe adding some different requirements for this process that may occur in the future.
Thank you, Boris, very much. It was my pleasure to talk with you.
Thank you, Olya. As I already said, it's always good to be here in the studio with you.
All questions about fiscalization in Romania for my colleague Boris or for our team, you can leave below. And of course, like, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Bye!